Hi, and welcome back. We're going to start our series on emotions by talking today about pride. Why is pride bad, or when is it bad, and what is it? So, we'll discuss this today and let you know things that you can watch for when that pride turns from something that could be good into something that isn't as good for you. And how to recognize pride even in your body. What are the physical sensations? What does pride do as it relates to our fellow man, and how can we find our peace with our pride? Yeah, stay tuned.
So let's begin talking about pride. If you research pride, and that's what I did, it was interesting to me that philosophers and social psychologists have noted that pride is a secondary emotion, which requires the development of the self and a sense of self. And so when I read that, I thought, you know what that means is, in order for me to know where I'm going in pride, I need to have a sense of myself first so that I can know where I am, because pride's a tricky one. We've talked about it. Pride is different than other emotions because both the opposite experiences happen in the same word. You know, we can say I'm so proud of you and be prideful in a negative way with the same word. And so we need to discuss it. That's what we want to do here, is discuss it. St. Augustine talked about pride as the love of one's own excellence. So again, that's good, and that can be not so good. When viewed as a virtue, pride in one's abilities is known as a virtuous pride, greatness of soul or generosity. But when viewed as a vice, it is often known to be self-idolatry, like loving the self, and or vanity. So one's definitely an outward movement of pride in someone else, and then something's definitely inward or self-focused.
Right. So there's definitely a range of pride, as Michelle's talking about, and there can be a righteous pride, and that righteous pride is simply joy and accomplishment, joy and success. That can be a righteous, good, healthy feeling that you're proud of something that you created or something you achieved or did. And yet, what changes that pride from something that is good or healthy to something that is negative or bad would be comparison. Pride is not satisfied to have something. Negative pride is only satisfied when it has more than someone else. And so that pivotal point of comparison is what can change everything. It changes how pride feels in our body. It changes how we respond to others through pride. And so a couple of examples. If I have a child that is struggling to learn biology and they work their heads off and get a C, I could be so proud of them that they didn't give up. I could be so proud of them that they just hung on. And yet another child may work hard and get an A. Well, I can be proud of that too. It's based on their individual accomplishment. But when that child that got an A, and I take that and compare it to the child that got a C, well, you did so much better than this child. I'm so proud of you. That would be the tipping point of pride.
And you feel that in your body. You feel immediately the shift, and it's a different feeling, and it kind of just dampens it a little bit. It dampens it. And on the scale of emotions, pride is kind of in the middle. And I think it's fascinating that it is, because it does hold, when we get to the ability to have pride in something, if we've been dealing in shame and guilt, grief and anger, that ability to have some pride is an elevated from those lower emotions. But it also is that tipping point, because when we stick to comparison, or when we focus on being proud of something, then we are not moving up the scale and into those higher frequencies of love and peace and joy. So it's definitely moving in the right direction. So I wouldn't necessarily call it bad, but it's something that we can get stuck there really easy. I think a lot of people get stuck at that level of pride because we feel like when you're not going to compare unless you think, if you're going to compare and you're less, then you're down in those shame, guilt, all those other things. But if you compare and you think you're better than, you're not, that doesn't raise you up. You're not going to move up into those joy, peace.
Right. So comparison is a critical part in understanding pride. But also know that pride is a separator. As a negative emotion, pride is a separator. So your pride can separate you from other people. Well, I'm better than her. Or it can separate you from God. I don't need you. I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
It can even separate you from yourself. Like, I'm better than that. I shouldn't be feeling that way. And all of a sudden you've disconnected from your own truth and your own self. So that's another indicator when pride can be a negative thing, is when that feeling or statement or thought separates you from something or someone else. In contrast to that, if you are connected to your heart is always drawn out in love. So I love myself, but I also love you. And we're equal in that. I love myself and I love my divinity. I love connecting to God. Love connects. Your heart connects. Your pride separates. And I think that's really important to understand. And so when you're feeling the negative pride, what do you feel in your body?
So I think in the negative, let's look at the pattern. So think about the breathing pattern of, I think there's a boost of energy there, like, oh my gosh, I'm better than that person, and so maybe the breathing patterns would be a little bit quicker and faster. And then think about the pride in seeing your child do something that they have worked for. Immediately, you want to put your hand to your heart and you want to take a deep breath, and like that pride. So how different those breathing patterns are. Or tension in the body. If I'm prideful and comparing myself, then I can feel a restriction in my body.
I like my neck goes stiff. That's stiff neckedness. Right here.
That's it. Yeah, you feel the tension in your body.
Yeah.
And I feel it a little bit in my back, like I stand up a little straighter. I got it. I'm a little better. Versus pride in someone that you love and showing that affection. You feel this sense of just melting, almost like in warm yumminess.
Yes.
Totally different
and
experiences.
And it's kind of an exhilaration too. Yeah.
True. It could be that way too. Oh yeah, for sure. So the heartbeat. Imagine the heartbeat. When you are comparing, I almost want to say, I feel like my heart would skip a beat, like like it's erratic, or it's not in rhythm, it's not in rhythm the same way. And
I would say when I am in my pride, which happens, I shut down my heart, because the minute I feel my heart, I want to connect to people. If I want to feel better than someone, then I can't feel my heart. So pride definitely, there's definitely a connection and a disconnection from the heart.
I think that's so true, because what's going to happen is that you are going to go up into the mind and come up with all the reasons why you are better than the other person.
Yes.
Because you've got to keep
pride
that
is
going.
Right here.
You've got to keep that going. So you, as far as emotionally, connected to the heart. The physical heart, the beating, there's no you're not feeling nothing in your heart when you are comparing. It's all up here going, and that.
Yes.
It's so good at coming up with new ways.
Stories.
Yes, the stories and the evidence.
Yes. And the validation.
And the validation. What about the eyes? So how would they react when we are feeling an unrighteous or a negative pride? I think maybe there's this, kind of this narrowing of vision,
I feel like you're almost looking past that person, like they're insignificant, they do not matter. I am the one that matters right now.
Right, and even though your eyes might do that, you've also you're looking inward. You're what I mean? You're making sure that what you feel in comparison is going to be better.
Right.
It's not something that's motivating you to change. It's kind of saying, I've already changed.
Yeah.
I'm already this way, and there's no room to move and grow. Right?
Right.
Versus the positive, I think there's a softening of the eyes. I think there's a gentleness in the eyes, and they just have a more, you're expanding, you're growing, and therefore I am expanding and growing as there's that shared feeling, and so I get to feel that feeling. Yeah, the connection, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Great. That's great. Well, we hope this helps you as we explore what is pride and why is it bad. I would just say, when is it bad? Because sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
There can be that beautiful, good, righteous pride in things that we've accomplished and done. And we talked about this the other day, even in the creation of the earth, when it was finished, God said, it is good. I think that to me is a righteous pride in saying this creation is beautiful and amazing.
It wasn't the goal. The goal wasn't to feel, we're going to do this, and then at the end we're going to feel so great about ourselves. I know. Like, that wasn't the point. But it was the result.
The feeling.
Yeah, it was the result of the hard work and the willingness to learn and grow from it. So
we hope this helps you distinguish the good pride within you from that might be negative, because pride in its negative form definitely brings you down. It separates you. It creates a lot of loneliness when we create that separation, and that doesn't need to exist. We can all be happy for each other and all that we accomplish. And we want you to know we are proud of you.
The righteous pride.
And the righteous pride.
Yes.
We're proud of you for all that you're achieving and creating and making in your wonderful life.
Being willing to learn and grow, and be willing to look at yourself and your emotions and gain more about your experience and what you can do to expand humanity by growing yourself. So click on the link below to subscribe so that you can learn more about all the emotions, because we are going to go through positive and negative, and this with a similar kind of format, really dissect it, and let's get our emotional intelligence to raise.
Yeah. And in our next episode, we're going to help you take some steps to switch out of that unrighteous pride into more of a righteous or good pride. And so make sure you don't miss it.